Hi, I'm Marty Knipe, and I'm a doctoral candidate in science education at the University of Arizona.
And I'm Sarah Tolbert. I'm Assistant Professor of Science Education at the University of Arizona.
And we want to talk to you today a little bit about our article that we wrote for the Science Teacher. And one really important theme of that article was the idea of multilogicality. And what that means is that you use many ways of knowing to understand a scientific phenomenon and to present it in your classroom.
And we think that using a multilogical approach actually enhances the richness of the science learning experience for a greater number of students. We also want to highlight the importance of bringing in underrepresented perspectives in the science classroom, such as how we've referenced the indigenous people of the Arctic in this article.
And one thing that bringing in these perspectives does is it really enhances and makes science more accessible for a broader range of students. And so one thing we found with the activity that we did is that by using these more narrative forms of observations about the phenomenon, really opened the door for students to access the knowledge in a way that they might not in a more traditional science representation of the knowledge.
We also understand that some science teachers might be hesitant in taking on this sort of multilogical approach because they might view the lesson as being less scientific than it would be otherwise with just focusing on the Western scientific components of the concept. However, we made efforts to position the two knowledge systems in such a way that they complement each other. And we feel that's very important to do, both for the Western science, but also for the indigenous knowledge that's being brought in so that they're represented as equally valid, systematic, and rigorous ways of knowing.
And one thing to think about when you're doing this kind of work in your classroom is to be careful not to generalize or oversimplify the knowledge that's coming in, like the knowledge that we used from the indigenous people of the Arctic. And the way you can do this is to really think about using authentic sources for that knowledge, and if you're able to actually work with people from the community in which the knowledge originates.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.